Hey guys, I am Wallace, a Fraglin, friggin' flippin' vampire dude. So I made the last video. I was like, do 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 do. Uh, and I took a nap, and part of me feels like indulging into another nap, but also I feel like this really I don't know why I'm using the word indulgence, but it is a good word. And I'm thinking about indulging on some computer programming. I'm like, oh man, it sounds really good right now. Some computer work. Man, and a cup of tea. Damn. Sounds good, right? What talking to myself, being lazy, not really like creative storytelling. Just like, well, why do you want to do that? Like, well, I don't have a reason. I just want to indulge on some computer programming, man. Like, I feel like the vampire inside of me is like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and just let you do what you want. You let me out today and had some fun or whatever, and you know, be nice to you in return. You can go ahead and be a freaking nerd, you freaking nerd. But yeah, I feel like being a freaking nerd. And I'm sad, I just feel like reading books and working on computers or whatever. I'm sad that the book I'm reading is almost like finished or whatever. And there's like not another book in the series yet, or at least the library doesn't have the next book. And I'm just like, so I'm just gonna be on a cliffhanger until they get the next book. That could be almost forever from now. Just and like I can tell that the author of the book like got super lazy, but it's like, oh, I'm okay with it. I'm just like reading. I'm just like, man, like the author is a she, right? And she's like, and then this dragon and this dragon they just went over here and like next paragraph then there was 100 dragons. There's at least 200 dragons and probably some more in the back somewhere. All of them just left. They all left together. I'm like, okay, go on. And then you know a couple months pass, whatever, they're flying in the air or whatever, and then them and these guys over here, they show up at this place I told you about a few chapters ago, and they're just, some of the guys there at the castle or wherever, this place, they're all sassy and whatever. Like, why'd you bring so many dragons and so many dudes? And they're like, well, I'm like, okay, go on. And then, of course, she just, you can just imagine the author's just like, just like breaks the fourth wall or whatever, whatever that phrase is, and she's just like, just, just go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead. She's like typing to herself, like typing to the reader now, and like not talking about the story so much. It's just like, just imagine what would happen. I'm just like, you're asking me as a reader to imagine what would happen next, and like, are you imagining you as I'm reading this book about dragons, and then like in this creative storytelling, she's just like, yeah, just imagine it. You got the dragons, you got the castle, you got the people who are upset, but they're all together and they're all friends, of course. And there's just drama. There's drama over there, drama in the past, there's drama in the future, there's drama. Look, that guy and that girl got that relationship. It's never gonna work out. Just imagine what's gonna happen next. I'm like, all right, go on. she starts like she starts like writing about her life, and how she's like unhappy about certain things, and it's like she just like gets away from the story entirely, but she's still like, you know, talking about dragons. You know, she's like, yeah, 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 like, you know, couldn't pay my bills this month, you know, and this guy, and you know, I'm just kind of doing my thing, and kind of, you know, taking too long writing this next book, but I really don't care, you know, I'm do whatever I want, you know, dragging this, dragging that, whatever. Start saying, I can say whatever I want. I can say a dragon comes back to life. You'll believe it. It don't matter. It's okay, go on. She's like, none of this matters. This dragon. This dragon over here. How do you even. I've never talked about how dragons have babies. I don't need to. Magic. I can say whatever I want. I can say whatever I want right now. You believe it. These dragons. You say they breathe fire into each other's mouths, and then magically, an egg. I'm like, okay, go on. This I know that this next book in the series is gonna be great. Anyways, end of story. End of creative storytelling. Storytelling. Um, Part of me wants to be an author, just to write those kind of stories, just for fun. Just, you know, I would be that kind of author, just randomly, just like go on like a tirade or a rant. Not a rant, but just like breaking all the literary rules and stuff, and just start getting, you know. But like the book would be so good though that the reader would still read it, right? They'd be like, man, I've read this far, gotta know what happens next. I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, maybe I'll flip a few pages, just not read about your life problems, but I need to know what happens next with these characters. Yeah, that'd be interesting writing style, honestly. Like, because you know, like sometimes you need a break when you're reading a book. It's like the story is like la 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 la. It's like predictable, you know. And then, like you still want to read, right? And you're still like want to be thinking, but not about kind of this book or whatever. But you don't want to like the reader doesn't really want to like think about anything else, you know. Probably the author at that point you're impressed with the author, you know, because it's like maybe just the author just start talking about crap. It's like, well, I'm enjoying this. It's different, interesting. Taking a little break from the story. Okay, cool. I'm thinking about how earlier when I was, you know, all vampire mode, higher transformation, whatever. I don't like saying that. I wish there was a better word for that. I don't like saying higher transformation, higher transformation. Could you imagine some crazy guy? Like, you walk into the restroom, right? You're like, you know, doing your thing or whatever, and you're washing your hands or whatever. You're washing your hands, and you hear behind you in like a stall or whatever, just a crazy guy going, higher transformation, higher transformation. Just like, what? What's going on in there? Higher transformation, higher transformation. Oh. Oh, that's just Wally over there. He ain't crazy, but he crazy. It's like, yeah, what a different word than higher transformation. But the more I say it in like a funny voice, the more I kind of like it a little bit, or hate, you know, hate it a little bit less, or whatever that wordage. But like, what's a good word for that? What's a good phrase substitution for higher transformation of vampire? I think if I say it with a southern voice, it's like I don't hate it. Higher transformation of vampire. And like honestly, I can only imagine how like if I was another person and I was just like going about my day, you know, or if I'm just me, you know, I'm just going about my day and I see a person who looks you know silly and ridiculous like I do in a higher transformation vampire state. If I just saw myself, I'd just like, what would that feel like to like want to like tease that person and like you know how people like to um, be an asshole or whatever. Like, what would that feel like to be an asshole to that person who's like super like serious and being but absolutely ridiculous? You know, what would that feel like? Look at that guy over there. He's a higher transformation. Hey, hey, buddy. And, like super like intense like music starts playing out of nowhere. It's like dun 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 dun, dun and like, you look like me in a higher transformation vampire just like looks over just like this like seeing forward and backwards into time, and there's like magic swirls and for some reason in the air. There's like you know I'm like, hey bud, how you doing? Dun, 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 dun. Like of course the vampire like blank stare like doesn't say anything, just like goes back to walking on the treadmill, all like super intense. I'm like, all right, well, you have a good day. Like that that damn higher transformation vampire um version of myself, like that thing, it's a thing, right? It's a thing. You could argue and make fun of him being an asshole. Be like, look at that thing over there. Look at him. Look at him. Higher transformation. Wearing a wearing a Alabama State Crimson Tide hat, all proud, all powerful. Look at him over there. It's like a conversation starter, like wouldn't it? Like imagine like you're just some guy and you're just like wow. So like talking to like a girl, like a girl or whatever, or say like, yeah, what do you think about that over there? ain't that ain't that something? You don't see that every day. Higher transformation. You see, I think it'd be so okay. So like clearly I like making fun of myself and being ridiculous. But like, imagine like me. I don't. Okay, hold on. Don't imagine me. This is weird. But imagine me like I've got like short shorts. Wearing like short shorts, working out, not working out, but on the treadmill, and just being like a super intense higher transformation of vampire, and like maybe have a cowboy hat on too, like a cigarette, like a like putting on a show on a higher transformation and like being like serious and not like a silly charismatic vampire but like a badass higher transformation magical creature dude. I think that'd be pretty cool. It's one of those things. It's like you ever see something so ridiculous that it's like it just it's like your brain just is like all right well I ain't even mad like I was not expecting to see a higher transformation vampire over there, dude. All badass, magical, in short shorts and a cowboy hat, doing his thing, acting like he's completely serious. Like honestly, that would intimidate me. Like if I, just me. If I saw that version of myself, like it, I'd be like, damn. I mean, if he wants to wear short shorts, he wears short shorts. Damn. I mean, I don't if that's what he wants. Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, another thing I wanted to add on, talk about earlier, but I didn't, is that in being that higher level transformation, the process of doing that is letting go. Letting go. Like imagine letting go of yourself. Like I'm sure everybody knows what that feels like. You just like in your mind, you imagine that sound. And you're just like this magical, freaking powerful thing. It's just like I'm gonna take control. I got this. You just relax. Vampire time. And then you're like you're just like in your body, but you're like it is addicting. It is addicting. Like you can imagine, like you talk about like how that sounds kind of freaking like sexual or whatever. It's like a, it's like damn. Imagine like the experience that I felt today, minus my anxiety and being all weird and like you know how you're being weird and have anxiety too much. It's when you have a magical being that's inside of you saying, "Friggin' stop." Like, what is wrong with you? Why are you such a. Just stop. Don't worry. Like, I wish that the vampire inside of me had a southern voice or, like, would like, talk to me in a southern voice. I think that'd be hilarious. Just like, it, I know it would say, like, I'd imagine, like, it's like, it's all right, bud. It would say, like, things like, yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yay. Be like, all right, okay, okay, yeah, sure. Whoever's saying yippee ki yay in that kind of southern voice, like that, go ahead. I'm just gonna let you do your thing. You seem to know what you're doing, Mister Yippee ki yay. I'm over here being scared. All right, go ahead. Yeah, anyways, I think I feel anxiety because it's like having. It feels like having a limit. Like it doesn't. It's like I want to say I ain't. It ain't limitless power, but it feels like limitless power, and that feeling, just the idea of limitless power. Imagine being in it where you're and you feel and you're like, there's a gosh darn limitless power being. It feels like they may not actually be. I have no idea, but it feels like that. Like what are the limitations of magic? It's magic. Of course, I have anxiety. Like imagine that. What if someone came up to you and said, "Relax. limitless magic. It depends on the person, but for me personally, I'd be like, well, I already had anxiety. My anxiety is, kind of in a, I don't know how to feel right now. But it's that numbness. Oh my goodness. Like being in a higher level transformation of vampire and even thinking about it, I feel that numbness that comes with it. And I'm just like, it is addicting, specifically because I do, on a day-to-day basis, I'm feeling this way, thinking about this thing, worrying, all of it gone. Boom, all of it gone. And it's like, and like, I sometimes like to tease, like tease myself or whatever, but like sometimes, like, no wonder, like me personally, they're like, that guy's really confident. I wonder why. Because when you feel like that, when you experience that, and you realize, holy crap, I've got this inside of me, I'm experiencing it. Like, ain't nobody not gonna be confident or develop. And think about that and be like, it affects me afterwards, kind of like psychologically. I've talked about in other videos, just like blocking things out, and I do that, and I'm grateful for that. Thank God for that, so I can be kind, myself and be a silly dude. But it's like, to me, it don't even matter if I got limitless magic. The feeling of numbness, limitless magic, is just like, it may not even be real. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, but that combination of feeling is like, I think what, like, logically, you would think you feel a numbness and like a limitlessness to you. Clearly, like you like, well, am I gonna, you know make am I gonna not am I gonna overdo it? You know what I mean? Like, you ever think about that? You're just like, it sounds like I might. What am I trying to? It's the vampire inside me is literally like, uh, I talk about being in conflict and how it's a subconscious and animal of its own. It's fighting me right now. I'm pissing it off, um, by talking about it, by joking around. Just, clearly, you're being an asshole when, a gosh darn magical being is like, all right, bud, shut, you know, shut your mouth. Tired of you worrying and trying to make excuses and saying, oh, but what if, you know, it's real. Like, do I have a pleasure in pissing off this damn vampire inside of me? I mean, as much as that damn vampire screws with my life and me, I don't feel one bit of bad being an asshole to, and trying to make fun of it, but it don't like being disrespected. It don't like that. But but can you really blame it though? if you were like a magical force inside of a person, like with intelligence, with an intelligence, like I can see how it don't. It's like I'm trying to like creatively. Um, it's fighting me so much right now. It's funny, but it's also it's what it's doing to me right now. It's blocking my thinking, and it's giving me that numbness feeling. It's almost like it's I don't know what it's doing. It's like I feel like it's amused. It's amused right now. It's the right terminology. It's like it's it, it's it's happy that I'm making light of it instead of. And I'm imagining this right now. That it's happy that I'm not taking it too seriously. That I'm not doing the anxiety thing. I'm not doing the worry thing. I'm using humor because I know that's what it wants. It's like stop worrying. Yippee ki It's like just let me take control. Like I like to think that it like from a human perspective, it ain't taking over all the time in my life. Like it's there all the time, right? But it ain't just. I mean, it is and it is and it isn't. Like it's not being too overpowering, is what I'm saying. Maybe it actually is, because like clearly it affects my decision making. Like there are people that I know that are like, "Well, you're so weird." Like there's sometimes like I can tell they won't say it to me, but they're very intelligent people. They're just like, "Well, you don't think that you're doing this, and that, but you know, but I know that vampire inside of you is whispering in your ear, so to speak." And they're like, "Wow, this is really cool. How this is amazing. Well, how'd you do it?" I'm like, "I'm not doing anything." They're like, "We know it's the vampire inside of you." Wally, I know you're an idiot, but that vampire is not an idiot. It ain't dumb. If anything, whatever it is, it ain't dumb. Uh, but yeah, I feel that numbness, like an ebbing, like coming and going inside of me. It's like it feels really good. It's power. like it's I could feel the kind of like higher transformation flow. Like obviously that dumbness comes with being in a higher transformation. And that it's like I want to come up with like while I'm still not fully transformed. I want to and like I want to come up with like cool catchphrases like yippee ki yay, like and like higher transformation, super serious, not super serious, but like super badass vampire mode. Yippee ki yay! Like look at someone. Just be ridiculous. Like okay, so like people are like, okay, yeah, okay, Wally's still there. Like I can tell Wally's still there because it's badass person that this is badass thing. It's not. It's like it's a thing. Like it's saying yippee ki yay, and he's holding a little music. There's music playing, and it's dramatic music. You just walk. This thing is walking around saying in a very supernatural voice saying yippee ki yay, wearing short shorts and a cowboy hat. I know that's Wally. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video there. Appreciate y'all. What I'm gonna do just relax. Oh. All right, y'all. Yippee ki yay. Bye.